like I said before, I don't take kindly to disrespect, man. I had my little reminder on my phone, so all 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, I was on that. I was ready to play some football. You know, some guys was in the media saying some things they shouldn't have said, but, you know, they did, so God bless them. You know, to write checks they can't carry.
Right there. It was a knee-to-knee. You wonder if that's hampering Concepcion. Reed running for his life and goes down in the arms of Reuben Bain. They do go to the run game, and it's Fletcher off and running. Fletcher across. Rush, clean pocket. Reed too high and intercepted. Picked off by the freshman Fitzgerald. Bryce Fitzgerald down the sideline and out of bounds near the 20. Undoubtedly, no, they're not going to give it again. They're going to give it to Toney. Toney scores a touchdown. What a call by Shannon Dawson. Beautifully executed. Reed gets it to the end zone. Intercepted. Picked off again by the freshman, Bryce Fitzgerald.
Canes fan, we got practice on Monday. We're not going out without a fight. Ohio State, y'all next.
By any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parts, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you. Welcome back to the Games Get Played Network. I'm your host, Wise, and I'm back. This might be, you know, one of the biggest smiles I've had as a Cane fan. Man. Boy, I think it's been 24 years, 24 years since I felt this good, man. I know a lot of the Cane fans that's been here on this journey over these past few decades. You know I saw a lot of people that I follow on social media, people in the group, they were saying, you know, that they shared some tears, you know. I didn't personally. I didn't shed any tears, man. For anybody that did shed them, it was warranted. It was warranted, and man, we went on a ride, man. We went on a ride today. Like, we really went on a ride, and just joy. I guess you could say joy. I think that I don't think anybody expected the game to go the way it went. So, you know, before I really get into it, I would like to say, this is just my personal opinion. I think that Texas A&M's defensive coordinator, I think the third down game plans were really good. Where you didn't want to be is where they had us. There were a lot of third and longs. And even though, you know, we had certain things called on some of the third and longs, like, it really just didn't go our way. So I would say credit to A&M for that, for sure. I think that Dawson let them off the hook pretty much the whole game. But we'll get into the thoughts and everything in a second, man. So, no actual Canes gear on right now. If y'all can read that says Master of My Fate. And I think something like this was appropriate for this game, especially with the way, that things turned out, the way that things happened. But when you put the work in and you do everything that's in your power to take control of your own destiny to get you to a certain point, and you get there and you accomplish those things and you fulfill it, certain level of pride and everything, behind it. And I really just think, man, that both teams were tested today, and that I think, Miami just stayed resilient enough and came through and made some plays when they really needed to be made, man. A lot of these guys came through for us and did what they needed to do. But let's just get into the overall rundown of the game real quick. I want to kind of keep this flowing how it needs to flow. So, to be honest, this was one of the most competitive, ugly games I think I've ever remember watching. I want to say that up front. This is one of the most ugly, competitive games that I remember watching up front. There was a lot to unpack with this game, man, but overall, Miami pulls it out 10-3. The only touchdown was scored in the fourth quarter by Malachi Toney after Fletcher literally took over this football game and was the reason on offense why Miami was able to get this victory. Just looking at the overall team stats for both teams, Texas A&M had a total of 326 yards. They turned it over 3 times. The Hurricanes were able to intercept Marcel Reed twice, forced a fumble on him as well. So all 3 turnovers on Reed. A&M was able to get 21 first downs. Penalties was overall pretty light in this game. They were 8 of 18 on third down, 0-1 on fourth down, and they really controlled the time of possession. 33 and a half minutes, or basically 34 minutes to 26 minutes. Think that it's real interesting kind of how everything played out. So Marcel Reed was 25 of 39 for 237 yards, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 7 times. Marcel Reed also was A&M's leading rusher with 27 yards. Overall, Miami really shut down the A&M run game completely. They had 89 yards on the day. They averaged 2.5 yards per carry. And that just wasn't because of the sacks. Ruben Owens had 7 carries for 21 yards. Le'Veon Moss had 7 carries for 15 yards. He ended up exiting the game again. I think he tweaked his leg. So I hope everything's all right with the kid and wish him, much success in the future, speedy recovery. Mario Craver led A&M with 92 yards, 7 catches. His ability to create the explosive plays kind of came about really once, if you're talking about true explosives. But, he had a couple of opportunities where if we didn't tackle him on those plays, where he could have turned those into 20, 30, 40, 50 yard plus plays. So shout out Lucas and O'Connor for the tackling and stuff they was doing, and dealing with Craver. He had the 59-yard deep shot. Reed hit him with a beautiful ball downfield that he bobbled and then caught. He caught OJ Frederick sleeping. I told y'all, this is my personal opinion, man. I really hope we get Damari back, because it's crazy how OJ went from our best corner last year to he's the worst cornerback that we have that gets snaps. And it's not close. Like, he is really bad out there. And this is before the injury too. Like, before him missing time, he was bad this year. He fell asleep, coverage bust on Craver. And I haven't ran it back. This is just what was being fed at the time. They were saying that he's the one that had the bust, but I wouldn't be surprised because he was getting beat on some other stuff. Just not a good performance by him. Him and Blay in particular, obviously with the offsides, but we'll get to that later. Ashton Bethel Roman, 4 receptions for 44 yards. He made a couple key catches on one of the drives where A&M was driving down the field for sure. KC Concepcion, he was pretty much contained the whole game. He really didn't do too much. And I think where he really went wrong is when he tried to field that punt. And I believe that was Pruitt, smacked him. I don't know what he was thinking by trying to field that punt and not calling a fair catch, but once he got rocked, I really don't recall seeing him do too much. Like, he might have been concussed, and if he wasn't concussed, at the very least, he was hurting. That was a terrible decision to try to field that ball. And that was A&M on offense, man. They gave up 7 sacks. I think that a lot of the shit that the O-line was talking and some of the players talking about they can handle this or that, it really backfired on them. Like at the top of the game, there was a lot of quick passes, and they were able to get it out quickly. And Marcel Reed was effectively scrambling, on third downs and stuff like that. But with how he was scrambling and how they was getting it, I knew it was only a matter of time before it all stopped. And then not only that, after they hit that down the field shot to Craver, they felt like they could handle our pass rush, because for a good part of the game, technically, we weren't really getting home. And once we started getting home, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. We really had them in hell once we started getting home. And when I tell you they was holding Mesidor like egregiously, and a couple of them was like right up the middle, and I don't know how they didn't call it or throw the flag, but it is what it is. I thought overall that the officials let them play. There were calls that, in my opinion, that Miami should have got a lot, like some bad holding stuff that they didn't give to us. You had the one play with OJ that would have been a late hit on Concepcion. I thought the Marcel Reed roughing the passer play was garbage. He sold it though, credit to the kid. And then I know a lot of fans, A&M fans, gonna complain about the play on the goal line where Torrey hit Ruben Owens. On my first watch, I thought it was definitely targeting. And then, I saw the other angles. It was bang, bang. I could see why people would be mad and want to, have targeting. And then I saw the other angle where the shoulder hit first and then there was contact. But either way, it is what it is, man. It was other calls that could have or shouldn't have been made. I don't think the officials impacted the game. And I can appreciate them kind of letting stuff just play out instead of getting too involved, right? So there was only 8 penalties the entire game for a total of 45 yards. And that's between both teams. So that was them on offense, man. As far as Miami on offense, Beck was 14 of 20 for 103 yards and a touchdown. So, and just, clarity on it, the play to Malachi, technically, that's a pass. So I know y'all like, oh, Beck got a touchdown, but that's basically a little flip or pop pass where Mally's coming across and getting that ball. It's just an extension of the run game. But, overall, man, Wasn't too mad with what I seen from Beck. He missed JoJo on the touchdown. But I think the win had a lot to do with it. I think overall Dawson was he put us in a lot of bad spots, and I'm gonna get to that. So Fletcher on the day, man, 17 carries, 172 yards. He averaged 10 yards a carry. He popped a 56-yard run on that last drive in the fourth quarter. Best game of Fletcher's career. He's the reason that we won. And, I think it was real poetic for him to get us down the field like that. And for Malachi to score that touchdown. A lot of y'all don't know this, but the last time Malachi fumbled was in a state championship game. And they lost that game when he fumbled. And Fletcher was on that team. And after Malachi fumbled today, he was crying and everything on the sideline. I mean, the kid cares. And, everybody going up to him, but Fletch went up to him first. And, Mally, Fletch talks about how Mally's like, bro, I did this before. I don't want to let you down again. He's like, bro, we getting that back. Like, don't even worry about it. But, that kid, Fletcher, he's been through a lot, man, but he's kept a positive attitude, especially after everything that happened, when he lost his father. I'll be the first to tell y'all, I've been really tough on Fletcher in the past, especially last year and the year before. This year, I thought he got off to a great start. And then obviously the injury came, but, this was Fletcher's best game of his career. And it came at the right time. Hats off to the kid. Shout out Twan, because when we was talking before the game, he told me straight up, he was like, bro, I just feel like this one of them ones for Fletcher. Because I was talking about, us using Pringle to try to do this or do that. And Twan was like, nah, bro, this the game for Fletcher to really make an impact. And I mean, he was spot on. Fletcher was effective, from the first snap to the last snap. So, shout out Fletcher. I thought the handoff to Lofton with Mally at quarterback, I actually like that play. I really like that play for real. I think we'll spin the block back on that. Keelan Marion led us in receiving today with just 33 yards. He had that 120-yard catch at the top of that drive. CJ, 2 catches for 29 yards. So obviously we didn't do a lot on the ground. I meant through the air. Only 103 yards. It is what it is. Now, from a defensive perspective, since we cover and stuff like this, I think overall both teams' defenses played good. I think A&M's results on defense were more predicated upon Dawson than what they were doing, in my opinion. Like I told y'all, I felt like their defense was cheeks. We didn't really expose them how I think we could have. I will say that Cassius Howell, I didn't see him make not one play the whole game. Everybody was talking about, I think he was a consensus All-American. He didn't do shit. But nobody on their defense stood out or popped out for real as far as like plays really being made. I know Dalton Brooks was in on some plays. I will say he sacked Beck. I think he's also the one that forced the fumble, maybe. I think he forced that fumble. But I would say out of everybody, man, I think Albert Regis probably popped off the most to me. Right. I saw him making a lot of plays, and I hope he's also, he'll be okay. I did see him making plays for sure. On our defense, man, shout out to Keontae Scott. 10 tackles, 5 sacks. 10 tackles, 5 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. His impact on this game was insane, man. It was insane. We needed him back. Him spying on Reed in those moments and just going when he needed to go. He definitely should have been if he didn't get hurt, I think the Thorpe Award was going to be his to take. I would have never saw this coming at the top of the year for him to be this good for us. Shout out him, man. That man been balling this whole year, and his playmaking ability is through the roof. Jacoby Thomas had 9 tackles. I hope he's okay. I saw when he was celebrating at the end, no helmet. I think they had done even took his shoes off. He might have been in slides when I seen him. So I don't know if that was concussion protocol or what, but he was done for the game. So I hope he's able to continue to help us. But 9 tackles, half a sack. He was flying around making plays. Muhammad Toure, shout out to Toure, man. 8 tackles. He had a pass deflection. He played his best game of the season, in my opinion. And then down there at the end of the game, man, he really put his body on the line. I hope the kid's okay. That's the play where if he don't make that hit, that is a touchdown. Reed found Owens. Torre literally put his body on the line. As soon as he hit him, it looked real scary, man. Glad he was able to get up. And after when Bryce caught that pick, I'm assuming he was still in concussion protocol. They was checking him out, and he ran out basically to, be hyped up with Bryce, and they had to grab him because I don't think he was supposed to just go out there like that. I know they was still checking him out, but shout out to him, man. That type of passion and stuff. We hadn't seen that in a minute, man, but Toure definitely played the game of his life today overall. He laid it all on the line. Wesley, man. Wesley was out there making plays. Wesley played great, man. Poyser, I hope he's all right. Bain, all that shit they was talking. They was talking all that shit. Bain blocked the field goal, had 3 sacks and 4 tackles for loss. All of that, he ain't no threat and all of that dumb shit. And that's what ended up happening. Akeem Mesidor, 5 tackles, 1.5 sacks. I think he had 11 pressures by himself today. He was fucking them up. I know Bain had 3, but when I tell you Mezzy was killing them boys, oh my God, he was abusing them. Like whoever he was going against, they gonna have nightmares about how bad he was kicking their ass. It's a lot of holding going on. We ain't get them calls. O'Connor and Lucas, man, shout out y'all. For real, y'all held it the fuck down. Chase Smith. Shout out Chase Smith, man. Through all of the injuries and everything he's been through here through Miami, the kid could have left. He could have quit. Man, so much respect to him. He helped us make a lot of plays today. Just 4 tackles, but he made a lot. He did a lot of key things today. And I'm happy to see that he's able to, help us and impact what's going on. I want to shout out Lightfoot. Man, Popo was in on some good plays too today, for real. Lightfoot made a tackle where he reached out and grabbed bruh ankle that pretty much stopped the first down on a key play, but Lightfoot was causing hell in there too. Justin Scott, he was in there wreaking some havoc. Moten was getting pressure at some points. Overall, man, we had 7 sacks. Great game by the defense. And, I'm saving the best for last on this overall, man. Shout out Bryce Fitzgerald. I will say once again, we was talking about this before the game, and Twan was like, when Marcel Reed overthrow one of them balls, Bryce is going to be there to catch it and try to take it to the crib. So as soon as I seen that overthrow and Bryce caught it, I was like, yo, if he cribbed this going to be crazy. But shout out Bryce, man. I don't know how you have a freshman with 4 interceptions and he don't make freshman All-American. And this is before the game. Now he got 6 interceptions on the year and nobody felt like he was a freshman All-American, that's crazy to me. But, the last one sealed the deal, and couldn't be more proud, man. Couldn't be more proud. Guys going down, but he stepped in there, stepped up. It made it do what it do. And I will say, just while we on this, the play with Malachi, the punt return, I saw it from a bunch of different angles. Originally, I said it was a great cheetah tackle. Then I saw another angle where it looked like he didn't hit him. That was a great tackle by 3. I think that was Marcus Ratcliffe that made that tackle that saved the touchdown. The one thing I'll say to Malley or about Malley in a situation like that, the next time you get there, you just need to put more burst. Because if he had burst more, he would have never had the opportunity to do it. And when he got clipped up, you could see the disappointment on his face because he thought he was gone. A lot of learning points for him from this game, but he is a true freshman. But that play, we was going up against what I deemed to be some little bad juju with that. So if you go back to the 2 games that we lost, in both of those games, Malachi broke had long plays that he did not score on, and we did not convert them to touchdowns. When we played Louisville, we hit him on like a shorter route, and he took it all the way down to maybe like the 15 or something like that, or the 10. We didn't score a touchdown. And then we played A&M when he got that really long punt return, and we took it down as far as we did not score a touchdown. So as soon as I saw that today, when he didn't finish it, I wasn't even confident that we was going to score at that point. But after that, I'm like, we have to make a play. We got to get this juju of if he didn't, finish it, then, us not doing what we need to do. But shout out the kid, man. After everything, and I can kind of get into the other stuff I want to with this. After everything that happened, not scoring on the punt, then he fumbles after, we trying to get cooking. The inconsolable crying, all of his teammates going over there to pick him up and let him know, and for him to get the opportunity to score the touchdown to put us up, I think was great. And I think one of the biggest things about all of this is Mario Fletcher, but folks told him, like, look, man, bro, we gonna get it back, but if you didn't make the plays you made this year, we wouldn't even be here. So, don't be too hard on yourself, and let's go get it back. And that's what they did. It was a great team win. That's one of the best defensive performances I can remember seeing Miami's defense put on. I would say it's probably the best performance I've seen since 01, 02. It got to be that time frame, man, when you think about everything that they was up against in this, like everything. It's so much to unpack with it, bro. Like from blocking the field goal to forcing the fumble, we don't get nothing off either one. The interception that Bryce ran back to the 20-yard line, we got nothing off of that. Yeah, I don't think we got anything off that. But either it's just a lot. It's a lot going on, man. Time after time after time again, man. The defense kept coming up. They kept coming up with stuff. And it's crazy though, because A&M had at one point they had 175 yards and Miami only had 45. They didn't have any points though. I just think overall the defense saved the day, man. There's nothing else I can say about that, man. The defense absolutely saved the day. And couldn't be more proud of those guys. I do want to say to Heatherman and, everybody involved, hell of a job. Mario Cristobal, if you have not given Heatherman his extension, raise, whatever you want to call it, you need to do it. Dawson, I don't know what's the protocol y'all got, but you owe Heatherman some money, and you owe that motherfucker the best dinner that money can buy in South Florida. Because when I tell you that man saved your ass today, he saved your ass. I'm going to go ahead and get this shit out the way right now. The shit that Dawson was doing today was fireable. Bro, this man, and this is what I mean when I say good teams, and I do think we have a good team. Good teams typically don't change up everything they do. And when Miami played Louisville, they did all of that gimmicky shit in the first half. And then they kind of settled into, what they do. Dawson ran so many trick plays and deceptive formate. None of that shit was working. Cut the bullshit out, bro. Like you was just doing too much. You was trying to force Mally the ball and all type of crazy, bruh. Like, just you the same person that said, "Oh, I just let the game come to." Like, bro, I don't know what you was doing today. And then the one thing that we knew and everybody knew was A&M's true weakness. Even Elko knew it. He addressed it after the game. Was their run defense, in particular, how they struggle against inside zone. And you the fucking inside zone king, and you did not want to lean on that big ass O-line and just keep running IZ and IZ because we was killing them in the run game. That shit is crazy to me. I'm telling you, right? Like, so y'all might think I'm joking. I'm not playing, bro. Like, that man, the way he was calling that game, that shit looked like point shaving, bro. Like, I'm in a group like, yo, the FBI need to investigate this motherfucker Dawson, because what are you doing, bro? It's like he was trying to put us in bad situations. I couldn't believe some of the shit he was calling. That shit was crazy. And then, like, on one of the plays when we was down there, I think this is when we missed the field goal, bruh. The shit was perfect. We had the numbers. All he had to do was hand the ball off to Fletcher. That was when we kicked the field goal, actually. So it's 3rd and goal. They got one middle linebacker. Well, they got one linebacker right there. We got the numbers. They got 5. We got 6. Hand the ball off, bro. Right up the middle, Fletcher would have walked in. Or Twan said what nobody would have seen coming. If we had used Beck and called the quarterback keep up the middle, we would have had 7 on 5. Nobody would have expected Beck to keep it and Fletch be a lead blocker through the middle. Fletch could have went and got the linebacker. Beck would have walked in. I don't know. We had numbers on that and we didn't run it where we should have ran it. But just overall, it was horrible play calling by Dawson. Pretty much majority of the game. And it was when he was trying to do the other shit. That 5-by-6 split weird shit, that shit was not working. And then, like, we get some momentum, and then you keep trying to do misdirection. Stop doing that shit. Stop, bro. I don't know what was going on, man. I ain't got no excuse for him. What I will tell you is that shit won't cut it. That ain't going to be good enough to beat nobody else. The rest of the competition that you're going to face is going to be more stiff, and you about to go up against a wizard with Ohio State, DC. So you better be ready, and that shit you showed up with wasn't good enough today. We won the game, but if you show up with some shit like that again, we're going to lose. I guarantee it. You can't expect the defense. The defense bailed us out the whole day, bro. You can't expect no shit like that to keep happening. Like, that was some historic type shit they was doing. They didn't allow a touchdown all game, and like it was just how it was happening, bro. You can't depend on that. So, Dawson, get your shit together. You had been in your big bag before the game. And then you came out doing shit we hadn't seen at all. And that's cool, but you don't have to do it that much. And none of that shit was working. So a lot of that shit you're going to have to scrap. Like, for real. Dawson, you better stop. Because if you really out here, if you point shaving, boy, your ass about to be in prison. Because that shit was crazy. You didn't even allow your quarterback on the road to really get into any rhythm. We had 2 drives where we moved the ball. One, we got the field goal, and then the other one was at the end of the game where you said, "Oh, I told Mark, we're just gonna feed him the rock. I knew there were a couple of plays that were working, and I wasn't gonna deviate from that at all. That last drive, like, the fuck took you so long? Like, you missed to set him up, but boy, you was playing with fire with that one. So you owe, if whatever extra money you got for this game, right, for the win, you need to give it to Heatherman for sure. And then the one thing I'm gonna give you credit for was that call at the end of the game. Now that shit was beautiful. Bringing Mally in motion like that, and then they was in man, and the way we was able to not allow them to set the edge, and then he literally beat his man all the way back across the field. Nah, that shit was beautiful. Just because of how Beck was like, come on, sent him in motion. As soon as he got there, he's doing the around, he come back. That was a beautiful play call. Instead of the regular shit you was doing, no, that was a great play call. I'm not gonna lie. You need to tighten the fuck up if we gonna beat Ohio State. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Nah, man, just my thoughts. The game had me stressed, bro. I was stressed out. And when it hit the fourth quarter, I was like, damn, we only gonna get the ball 2 more times, and we need touchdowns on both. And it's a lot of joy. That's all I can say, man. A lot of joy. That is not how I don't think anybody had the game going that way. I think that we was really able to neutralize what they wanted to do. And the one thing that they didn't prepare for was our defensive line being that good. They felt like they was going to be able to handle it. And to be honest, they couldn't handle anybody. Blunt was getting off. Lightfoot was getting off. Mezzy, Bain. Like, we was really having a field day on them boys. I'm really going to need Damari Brown back. OJ Frederick, please get him off my field. Please. I beg of you. I know y'all think super highly of him and all of that, but that boy has been barbecue chicken and Swiss cheese from week 1, and I need him off my field. Other than that, man, just been a long time coming, bro. Cane fans, we here. We got this first playoff win. We got more business to handle, but it feels good. Enjoy it. Take it all in. It's been a minute. No matter what anybody says or no matter what happens from this point, Miami is heading in the right direction. I know it's a lot of people that don't rock with Mario and stuff, but at the end of the day, what he's done so far is undeniable, bro. We went from 5-7 to 7-5 to 10-3 to 11-2. Obviously, made the CFP, got our first CFP win. But you can see it. The way this team had to grind yesterday to finish that game out. And the whole time, bro, like on Twitter and the group chat, everybody can feel it and sense it. And it's just like, Dawson, like, you are being bailed out. Like, it was just crazy, man. It was crazy, but poetic how it ends with, Fletcher taking over the game on that last drive, breaking that long run. We get down there and the handoff to Mally. The pick with Bryce was so perfect, bro. So perfect. Like, it was just a great way to end the game, man. Great way to end the game. So, the narratives and the talk and all of that could be gone. Just keep going, keep playing. I definitely want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in with us this season. We're going to continue to provide coverage until the year is over with and then beyond. Like the videos, get in the comments. We've been having some phenomenal conversations. Please subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. And yeah, we here, man. We here. Let's enjoy it and just take it in, man. More business to be handled. But the first round of the playoffs, man, it ended up good, man. You had 2 great games, and then you had the other 2 games where you already knew what the outcomes was going to be. I did tell y'all that JMU was going to cover that 21-point spread. So, if you took that and then you took Bama, I had Miami, I had JMU covering that spread, man. Nice take on that, man. If you made it do what it do, you sitting all right. And if you added like 1 or 2 to that would have been a smooth 5-leg for sure. But nah, man. Shout out to all the Cane fans that was out there in College Station. We traveled well. Thank you, Mario, for coming back and establishing a certain standard back here at this university that we had been missing. And it's on to the next one, man. That's the thing I will say about this. I know some younger Cane fans haven't experienced the Canes being great in their lifetime, and I get it. And then obviously some of the older Canes fans, you done seen it all and then some. But I do want to say, for me, I'm not on here super screaming and jumping for joy. I don't get it twisted. I am happy about the victory. It was a hard fought victory, but it's just kind of like act like you've been here before, because the job ain't done.
Hey,
Y'all ain't planned this.
all right, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts quickly, Edge?
What do you mean? The University of Miami, we here. That's what we came here for.
Would Notre Dame have won that game?
Do what now?
Would Notre Dame have won that game?
I don't know about nobody else. I know University of Miami won that game.
Of that, Dre, what were your thoughts? Cagey affair, tight scoring. What did you see from the team down the stretch?
Man, just guts and will. That's all it's about. It's the college playoffs.
Is the U back? Is the U back?
Hell yeah, we back.
Good
You
to see
will? Ohio State.
Congratulations.
Ohio State.
State.
Next week.
Ohio State.
Texas next week.
The Miami Hurricanes have a college football playoff win. They head down to the Cotton Bowl to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Wow.